Hello, everybody. This is JD again. Today, turtleneck jacket behind me at home. You who've been following me through the years recognize this. Just want to let you know that yes, this JD is still around. What is today's video going to be about? Our future, the United States of America. We have two paths. One is to continue on the present path that we are on. Basically, somebody told me that roughly 150 million Americans are very much upset and that they see the future on this present path as the way of the Roman Empire, British Empire, other different empires. The actual collapse, the Greek Empire. Corruption within the political system that causes the whole system to collapse. The problem with it is, if we have to where our federal government collapse, we'll end up very much like Greece before Greece became a country, city, states. Except for we'll have individual states about the size of Greece, which will end up becoming individual countries. Some of you out there will think that's great. But the United States of America and the Constitution of the United States of America will be lost. That's if we continue on our present path. Politicians are becoming more and more corrupt. Special interest groups are getting more and more control. It's more me, me. Our Congress is so divided because it's us against them. Our Congress is becoming like Congresses throughout the world. An inefficient body of people who can't even agree on when the sun comes up or when the sun comes down. I use that as a metaphor. They can't agree when they walk outside if it's light, that it's daytime, if it's dark, it's nighttime. Oh, it's not nighttime yet because nighttime doesn't start till late in the evening and it's only 7:25. But it's dark as all that. Well, that's no. And they'll argue and dispute that. Our Congress, our government, our federal government has become so corrupt with politicians, so corrupt with the big money, so corrupt with the rest of the world. Very similar to the rest of the world. We joked. One person told me, he said, well, we could go the way like Greece and, Cyprus, France, Spain, like in Europe. I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, well, in Greece, their banks are finally open and they can draw up to $400 out of their accounts every day. And I looked at him and I said, well, with my banking account, my ATM will only let me draw $400 a day either. So what's the difference? The difference is what we really believe in, the American people. That's the difference. And that's what I'm standing here, I'm sitting here talking to you about, American people. Our difference, our future. We can continue on the present path, which will let us go towards the one world government, etc., etc., etc. Or we could say, no, we are Americans. People under the Constitution of the United States of America, and we will uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and recognize the individual rights, our individual differences, our individualism, because that is what makes us a great united nation. We are united through our individualism and recognizing our individualism as one. I did a video yesterday. I got to post it yet. I haven't posted it about the Supreme Court. No, I think I did post it. And they have to make a decision, and they really got two issues ahead of them. Marriage, which is an institution of God, created basically by God for the union of a man and a woman, to declare before all others, so that the world knows that these two people are off limits. Women know that the guy's off limits. Men know the women's off limits. Marriage was an institution created, according to our religious beliefs, created, designed, and set up by God. Therefore, it's a religious ceremony, and therefore the federal government has no rights to say on it. Then I have the other part that says, but the other part that's before the Supreme Court, which no one seems to realize, is a union between two people. Why is it two people who do not wish to get married but can't have a union, similar to that as a marriage, where they will declare their loyalty to each other, their dedication to each other, and tell the rest of the world, we are, just because we are the same sex, we are dedicated and loyal to each other. Everybody else, stay away. In other words, off limits. This is a union. And have the same privileges as that of a marriage. Well, see, that's where the federal government can say, our federal government privileges that we give to a marriage will also be given to a union of two people. That is accepting it. Now, as far as marriage, the federal government can neither say yay or nay. It has to be left up to the established religions. And if there is established religions that say, we will marry same-sex couples, there's not a thing the federal government can say about it. But that is our future. Recognizing our individualism. Recognizing the individual person. But that is not the way the United States is heading. The United States is heading towards special interest rich mass. One world. Now, some of you who feel that gay couples should not, well, you have that right. And some of you who feel that gay couples should, you have that right. But only an established religion can declare a marriage one way or the other. Not a state, not state passing laws, none of that. Only an established religion, because their marriage is. Now, what am I really here talking about? I'm talking about the future of the United States of America, not about gay rights. I'm talking about everybody, not about one group. I'm talking about all kinds of different people being treated fairly and equal. I'm talking about getting the corruption out of the political system. That's what we need to do. You out there need to look at JD and say, hey, can JD do the job? I'll either do it or die trying. And some of you say, well, they'll kill you before you get it done. That may be the case. But I'll either do it or die trying. But what kind of future am I talking about? I'm talking about the future that our forefathers dreamt about. Not the future that the British Crown saw for everybody. The future our forefathers dreamt about. Where every man and woman is free. And each and every one of us is looked upon as an equal. And each and every one of us has a right. Now, there's another comparison we made. We talked to the European countries, how they're trying to, one of the biggest problems they have is their socialist government, and they all want to retire at something like 50, 55. And we laughed a little bit, and I said, no, actually, they want to retire at like about 30, and they don't want to start work till about 23, 24. And we both laughed. And that's another difference between us, the American people. We truly believe when we get old enough, and most of us at 18, 19 want to get out on our own and work. And when we hit 55, 65, 70, even 80, we don't want to stop working. But unless we have something to work for, a future to work towards, it's almost a painful effort. We almost give up. And that the American people must never do. Special interests has to get out of this completely. Green people have to realize that no, you're American people. Together we can fix our ecology, not you alone. The Hispanics, the African Americans, the Italians, we can fix our nation even greater equality. But together we can do it. Well, it's never been done before. How many years? This country's been stumbling through it, trying to do it year after year. And every year we get a little bit closer. Why destroy it now with the corruption of politics? We're so close yet so far. The middle class is being squeezed out. And we're being squeezed out by two ends. You might say the middle class is a candle, the poor is one end that's lit, and the rich is the other end that's lit. And both of them are squeezing on us. They're burning us up. Eventually, we will be squeezed out to where we will either be poor, which the most of us are going to be, and maybe some of us will be in the rich, and it's going to be no middle class. Most of the American people, that the continuing way we're going, is going to end up being the servants of the rich. Unless we put a stop. And we must begin at the top. Now, a lot of people say, JD, well, start off small. Be a mayor, a senator, a governor. And I'd say, yes, if the time allowed. The time is not. I did not think of becoming president. I didn't even care, as long as the government continued and tried to improve. But it has stopped. It is going backwards. It's becoming more and more corrupt, beyond. And also the promise I made to this country as a young kid. If ever there was a time there wasn't anyone worth voting for, I would run. I did that in 2008 and 2012. There wasn't anyone worth voting for. And now I am in the cycle. But this time it's different. It's going to be your call. It's going to be whether or not you want to change the direction our country is heading into. Do you want to continue with this political corruption that has totally stalemated and almost destroyed our country right now? Or do you want to change it? Do you want to go back to the hopes and dreams of our forefathers, where every single individual, being an individual, has a future, as long as they work towards it? Do you want to be a nation of rich, middle class? Or do you want to be a nation of servants to the rich? Do you want to be a nation where you, as a middle class, can make it into the rich? Or do you want to be a nation where all servants are downtrodden by the political corruption and rich? Do you want to be an independent nation within this world of nations? Or do you want to be part of a group and have no independence? These are the choices that are laying before you. These are the choices we have. I want the United States to be a strong, independent nation. To tell the rest of the world, even though we may stand alone, that we, the United States of America, is an independent nation of individuals who are hardworking, who can make it to the top from the bottom, and that no one can suppress us. No special interest groups, no political parties, no rich and famous. I want every single child born with the true belief knowing he can. I want every single young lady when she's born knowing that The presidency is within her goal, her grasp, from the day she was born in this country, no matter who her parents may be. Yes, and why do I say no matter who? Maybe both her parents are illegal aliens, but she was born inside the boundaries of the United States, and she can be president because the Constitution guarantees that. I want every single man and woman who worked hard throughout their whole life to know that this country will always be there to support them, and that the people inside this nation are ever grateful for what they have done and given them. I want a nation that when we say yes, the world knows we mean yes. And I want a nation when we say no, the world knows we mean no. And I want a nation that when we say maybe you better watch out, they are watching out. In other words, I want a nation that when we, the people, say something, the world knows that is the way it will, shall, and going to be. But I can't do it alone. But with you all, the United States of America can be everything I just said it could be. But only with us together. We have to throw off the shackles of corrupt politicians. We got to throw to the roadside those yokes of special interest groups. We have to free ourselves from the rich who believe that we should get nothing and they should get everything. Not all rich are like that. Some rich believe they should equally share. They don't need to make billions of dollars in profit while their lower end can't afford to feed their children. But there's too many rich running this country that don't really care about those at the bottom who can't feed their children. I want a country where the companies set a minimum wage among themselves that's far above that of what the government sets. A country where the people together, that's it, together, work to achieve the greatest nation that ever been established on this earth. I want a nation where every single person, from the bottom to the very top, believe in each other, trust in each other, and work for each other. I do not want a nation where we, the government, has to say, share the wealth. I want a nation where the people say, an honest day paid for an honest day's work. I want a nation that says those who work hard can make it to the top and become rich. I want a nation that says those who want a loaf can make it to the bottom and be poor. But above all else, I want a nation that says an honest day's wages for an honest day's work. Not half, not 3/4 or 9/10. A full honest day wages for an honest day's work. I want a nation where each and every one of us realize we are individuals, we are different, we celebrate our difference, and that's what makes us one unit. And we are united in protecting our differences. I want a nation that the rest of the world looks up to and respects because we earned their respect, not because we got the biggest gun or the most money to give out. I want a nation that the individual American citizen can believe in. And I want a nation that the rest of the world envies and tries to emulate. That's what I see for the United States of America. And we can do it. That's what I see for you. That's what I see for me. That's what I see for our future. Not a one world government, but a world of many nations in which we, the American people, are the most blessed because we work together and earn it. That's what I want to see. Now, some of you say that will never happen. And I'll have to agree with you, as long as we let the political corruption, big money, and the world dictate to us. So please, people, listen to me. You decide. And if you want me for your president, you all better start acting. And together, united, we can put the United States of America, under the Constitution of the United States of America, back on the right track towards a future we all can believe in. This is JD. Thank you. Go to www.theconstitutionistparty.com. Check us out. Check me out. Thank you. Have a nice day.